Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Jay Gonzalez. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing when women just ain't reciprocal with the same energy men put out. You know what time it is, folks? Let's get controversial. Welcome back to the show. And this topic is coming from Brian from Orland Park. And he says, what is going on with women these days? It's like they don't show interest back when you're dating them. These days, it feels like it's all about them or nothing. Well, first off, Brian, I do appreciate you submitting the topic to the show, so let's go ahead and get into it. See, here's the thing. Women that give non-reciprocal energy, now I get it. Women these days think that, they still believe this fantasy that you don't have to do nothing, then the right man is going to come along, and he's going to love you and treat you right just by the person that you are. Well, I'm sorry, ladies. I hate to break the bad news, all right? But no man wants a woman that doesn't try at all, okay? No man wants to be pursuing a woman that's not giving the same energy back to them. They just don't want it. Now, no one is saying to be thirsty or anything in that nature, okay? But if you're just making withdrawals in a relationship and absolutely no deposits, don't get mad when he puts you in the bend zone. And this is definitely not to be confused, ladies, with the friend zone. Okay, the bend zone, if you're lucky, if he chooses to keep you in that, instead of just canceling you completely, okay, he will only keep you around for sex. Other than that, he will not take you seriously. Now, sometimes this happens to women that have this Disney complex mentality that think they're deserving of everything just because either they're beautiful or, they're sweet or whatever the case may be. All right. Now, understand, and I repeat, this is not to bash women. Now, no one is saying for you to be thirsty or anything in that nature. But if you're in a relationship and you're only you and you're doing nothing but just sitting back and letting it all happen, then you're wrong. You're wrong. So at the end of the day, the problem with women these days, in my opinion, is that they want men to be obsessed with them. They want men to be 100% obsessed. And if they're not, then you know what? They're going to leave you. They're going to leave you. Now, we got a special treat for you today, folks. Today, we actually have a caller on the show. All right? And this is actually Mark from Park Ridge. And he's going to be going ahead and venting his thoughts on women. What is his thoughts on women being reciprocal? Does he believe that they are being reciprocal? What are your thoughts? Mark, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, folks. Welcome, Mark, to the show, folks. All right. Let's get into it. What are your thoughts on it?
I have to agree with you, but yet disagree just for the sake of when you say women, a woman could be classified at 18, 21, 45. And in my opinion, yes, you're correct on some women at certain ages, but in reality, I don't see it being all that way. When you put in the work, you get the results. And realistically, if you're in that part of your life where you're appreciating that level of putting in work, then you know what you're going to get from it. So realistically, when you're young and dumb and you're just seeing things as, you're just going with the flow, and there's always what I always call the BBD, there's always a bigger, better deal around the corner. And, like you already know that there's always options out there. So realistically, I agree. Yes. When it comes to the younger women, you probably will get a lot of that. If you don't got the bag, then you're finito.
Right. Well, here's the thing. And again, not to cut you off, but what we're talking about is the same type of energy. Whether or not he's sweet to her, she's sweet back. If he's constantly texting her, she's responding back. We're not really talking about the bag right now. That's another topic. But your thoughts. So what you're saying, I guess, from what I'm hearing, is it's based on age bracket. Is that what you're trying to say? That older women are more reciprocal with a man's energy versus younger women, or vice versa?
Well, because they're definitely more appreciative of it. They've already been through the loops and the bullshit and the crap.
Right, but we're talking about modern women. Modern women
yes,
today.
modern women are still today's women, even though that they might be 45 or 25.
That's a
You're
negative.
still a modern woman.
Well,
in
no,
the age
no,
of,
no.
you know,
That's
in the year of 2023.
That's
You're dealing with 2023.
modern women.
situation.
Modern
the
women.
dating situation is completely different. The way that you date, the way that you communicate with people is very different. And that's maybe for the younger generation, that's the norm. And for people that are older, it's technically not the norm. But
Well,
at the same time, are you going to
I have to
appreciate the
correct
effort
you.
that you're putting into a relationship?
I have to correct you on the age aspect of it to make sure that all my audience is clear. Okay, 18 to 35 is considered modern women. All right, just the way it is. We're not talking about Gen Xers. We're not talking about
I
Gen
would
Xers.
say, well, I don't know how correct that.
Gen X women, are different. I get it, and even some of them have been corrupted by modern. I call them hybrids, if you will. They're traditional women, women with modern tendencies. Okay, they're out there. They're out there. But in your opinion, what you're trying to say is that you're not seeing it. You don't agree that.
It depends on what you're dating. So if you're dating older women, you're not going to see as much of that. I personally, from my experience, I'm 41 and I'm dating girls within my own age group. And let's just say that I'm not seeing that. If anything,
and how's that going for you?
They've already been past more of the BS, and they see when the other person is actually, and it doesn't have to always be financially, like in a way where I'm providing this, that, or whatever.
Right.
Just maybe the communication and the sex and the passionateness and just what that is.
And that 100% can be the case.
For a younger chick, yeah, I could see that in their age group. I could see it, definitely. Where they're just taking the ride.
At 41,
right.
She's been through a lot.
But they're not serious though.
She's been through a lot at 41. She's tired of the game. She's willing to settle down. We're not talking about those women, okay? We're talking about women that are still out there dating, that are still out there in their modern prime.
But there are women 40 and plus that are still dating. There's
correct.
50 and 60-year-old women
this is correct.
dating right now.
But those date differently.
And it's like, I don't know. It's too much of a broad statement.
When a woman hits
the age makes a very big difference.
I'm sorry, Mark.
So
Mark was your name, right?
That's 28 to a chick that's 38. It makes a big difference. Those 10 years, I promise you, make a very big difference.
Of course they do.
As far as
that's the exact point I'm trying to tell you. That's exactly
right.
the point I'm trying to make is that the age gap, the women that hit the wall versus post-wall women is a totally different game, okay? A woman's sexual market value from 18 to roughly, 30, they're roughly in their prime at around 25 to 27. Once 30 hits and, from there on, they start decreasing. Once 42 happens, usually the women's already hit the wall. So you know what? She's not going based on looks or based on money or based on, some might, but at that age, they're looking to settle down. They've already been to all the clubs, living their wild life, living their best life, or whatever the case may be. But those type of women, older women like that, also come with baggage.
When you say modern women, you're like you said, for me, modern women are in the late 20s, early 30s. That's a modern woman.
Exactly.
Right. And those
40s are not qualifying
right now. Yeah, they might be in a sense like not putting in the work because they know that they still have time for more options. Now, depending on the age group, that's what I'm trying to tell you is that as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at it, depending on the age group, you're going to get what you're going to get. And realistically, everyone's always going to get what they get because they know what they're putting in. So I know what I do. I know other guys will take a girl out to dinner, do all this shit, and then they'll get the toto. Good for you, bro. But at the end of the day, what more are you getting besides the toto? She paid you for the date with toto. So if that's the case, it's not really a real bona fide, man, this woman is going to be the person that wants to be with me forever, my soulmate. You're not on that level.
Although you got valid
you're literally
points.
dating somebody who's just getting what they can, and you're getting what you can. You know what you're bringing to the table. So if you know that financially you can do the fancy dates and this and that and whatever, then you know what you're expecting from it,
Listen,
and she knows what she's expecting from it.
when a man's dating a woman, when he invests in a woman, it's almost like if he's testing her out. Meaning, will she make a good mother? Will she make a good wife? When a man reaches a certain age, he's not just looking at tits and ass.
Yes,
he's not just looking at tits and ass.
So now let's say that modern women are dating modern men. Modern men are not thinking about what you just said.
Some are, and most modern men.
The number would be very low.
One out of four men. One out of four modern men.
They would have to look at chicks our age if they're looking for that.
1 out of 4 modern men either are virgins or haven't had sex in over a year between 18 and 30. Okay? The average 30-year-old hasn't had sex in almost a year, or a virgin. Virgin.
These are wild statistics.
They're facts.
At least from our generation.
They're facts. Right, definitely. They're facts.
Yeah.
Right now, this generation of modern men.
No way you were 30 years old and still a virgin.
This day, modern men are the most loneliest they've ever been. Modern men are the most, depressed they've ever been. So it's bad for them. And modern women find themselves dating up in age because modern men don't have what older men have, whether that be the success, the car, the house, the career, whatever. So they look for older men. But older men don't tolerate stuff like that because older men look more past. It's deeper than looking at your tits and ass. Now, an older man's looking at your personality now, how you are as a person. Because you know what? As you get older, that shit's going to fade. So all that's left is who you are. So, again, that's just my thoughts on it. But what you're trying to say, I guess, is you don't see it in modern women.
For my age group, and that's why I called in. It's just, for the age group that we're at, and at the same time for the younger generation or whatever you want to call them. But at the same time, their generation they're leeching onto ours for the sake of the fact that, yes, there's definitely more stability. And at the same token, you're not putting in the work because you have the option. And there's always the BBD, the bigger, better deal.
So she's not putting in the work because she has other options.
Was not that option, that American Express card that you have, it's only for a few years. That's all you got. Then after that, it's like your card is no good. I'm sorry. Now you've reached an age where it's either now like what we're talking about with the older generation. So realistically, you're only going to put in as much as you know that you need to put in. And as far as the women today, I see that as far as what you're saying for modern women, if it's going to be within those age groups, 18 all the way to 35, my parameters are set between 37 and 42. So that's the women that I'm trying to date. So 37 is not far from 35. And I feel like women at that age are still, they're like the hybrids in between the
hitting the wall.
Young,
they're hitting the wall.
Older ones, because they had older sisters, older brothers, older cousins. They came from back home. They came from a family or a generation of appreciation of moralities, and just their views on things are just different. Now, you want to talk about anything between 30 and 25, it changes completely. Social media and everything else is just a big giant part, and that's what makes everyone feel like they have all the options in the world. It's all the social media because you're so interconnected with everyone. So there's always an option. Yeah, no, I know I'm not wrong. I know I'm not wrong. This generation, they don't want to put the work in because realistically, there's options, and there's a lot of options. And I feel you. Like, yeah, you got 1,000 cats on your
and that's
DM.
The thing. The options, right? The options are the women getting the option. It's not the men.
They have the option. So it's like, how much work are you willing to put in when you have so many options? And at the same token,
well, you know what? Then you shouldn't sit there and
makes you feel that you have so many options.
Then it's
women
wrong.
Our age are not looking for options. They're they're definitely weeding through all the BS, and they're looking for something because they already know. So that's why I feel like in reality those two just don't mix. Like as
Yep.
far as girls that don't want to reciprocate what your energy that you're putting in. No, you will find women that will reciprocate that fucking energy all day. But at
Right.
the same token, right, it's
But we're not
more
talking
about the
about
age.
modern women.
No, definitely not modern women. Because modern women are, if you want, for me, you want to put it between 18 and 35. For me, modern
I didn't
women are
make that rule.
between.
I didn't make that rule
I
up.
didn't say you. I didn't say. I'm just saying the stat was 18 to 35. But
Right.
realistically, let's be real and let's look at actual situations and your age groups that you're dating or whatever your parameters are set on your dating site. Like, let's just say 18 is beyond super young, especially at our age. So let's just say between 25 and 35. That's a good age group. That is the modern women that you want to say. For me, it's more about 25 to 30 because I feel like women after 35, they're close to that generation
They're
where
hitting the
they're
wall.
the last of the dying breed of what we value as far as what a woman is, you know,
Yeah.
a woman. And,
To an
and,
extent.
and I'm not saying
Some
that I
can
take
be,
away
not
from their
all.
independence.
Some, not all.
Yeah, some, not all. But
Oh,
that goes for everything.
yeah.
But at
Well,
the same time, yeah, that
well,
age group is definitely in its own category as far as how much are they putting into an actual relationship that they're taking seriously. Because realistically,
it's
they
not
can
even
have
about
whatever.
the fact of what they're putting out. They're taking but not putting out. So there's a difference of just
Yeah,
not
but
putting out and accepting as well.
if the guy is putting it out there, it's
Because he
like
likes
basically
her.
saying
Because he likes
like
her.
man, bro, you just got a new job and your boss is over here literally handing you like, oh, you're not gonna take the promotion, you're not gonna take the bigger money, you're not gonna go in on these incentives and deals and things that can make you more money outside of your salary. Of course, you're gonna jump on it. So I don't see that any different when it comes to the dating world in this day. Like, of course, you're gonna take advantage of a situation if you see it. But it doesn't necessarily mean that when you're finally trying to take things seriously, yeah, if the contribution on both ends needs
Women
to
are
be equal.
losing good men. Okay, they're losing good men, and they're just putting them in the bend zone because they're not being reciprocal with the energy that the man is bringing. Whether that's the sweetheart
Okay, I
energy,
agree with you. I
whether that's
agree
the
with you a
spoiling her
hundred percent.
energy,
I
whether
agree
that's
with
the
you a
spending
hundred
time
percent.
with her
But then
energy.
at the same time, she can't get mad that she's in the bend. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Of
can't
course
get mad.
not. Of course not.
You can't.
Of
You
course
can't. I'm
not.
sorry. You can't get mad
But
at that.
the problem
No,
is you
because
have a lot of
you know what
simps.
you brought to the table.
You
You're
have a
not a
lot of
pendeja
simps
either.
out there that keep them their head swole up with this Disney princess mentality that they
Ah,
got. But overall, I do appreciate you actually calling in and speaking regarding the topic. So those of you guys watching below, please comment your thoughts on
keep your
what you
show going.
thought
I love it.
on Mark.
Yes.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And again, Mark, to the next one, brother. Reach out again. Let me know your thoughts. Feel free to call anytime. And those of you guys watching below, please comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Was he right? Was I wrong? Does he know what he's talking about? Or does he not have a clue? Let me know your thoughts. And until the next one, folks, I'm your host, Jay Gonzalez. Keep it controversial. Peace out.